Hello dear viewer, and welcome back to Lunar Nebula Art with me, Jhonatan. We're working on a Fire Emblem style avatar. I've picked up a few more pictures since I realized I do want to go with a spear over a sword, I think. I do like Ephraim's pose here, so we'll probably try to copy that a little bit with a gesture drawing. I like Ellawood's cape, not gonna lie. I like Hector's armor. Dimitri's spear is pretty cool, so I might do that over Ephraim's spear. We'll see. And Ike, I like his boots. I'm not gonna lie. I think he may have too many belts, but that might also be cool. We will see. So, you know, we have options. There are many, many different theories and stuff. But I was also realizing I should probably make a color palette so that people could see, you know, what I'm doing. Basically what I did was I started with a mid-tone, and then, just to show you what I'm going to be talking about here, what I did was basically make an ellipse, just random ellipse. Boop. And you know what? Let's go ahead and check the pants color. Okay, this is a pretty good mid-tone already, so I don't think we need to do much of anything. It doesn't really matter what shape it's in, as long as we can access it with the color picker tool later. Then I'm going to double tap with my fingers, drag and hold, and then we have this. And what we want to try to do is kind of make a U shape if this was a square. Since it's not, we're going to go a little bit less saturated, a little bit brighter, because we're trying to make a little highlight right here. And then a better highlight will be, once again, less saturated even more, and brighter. So that should be kind of our highest level highlight color. Then we'll head back to our mid-tone. We'll copy. And then we'll need to move it down below the other one, just because reasons. And then, similar idea, we're going to go probably less saturated and darker, so a little bit directly down. Right about there. So that's kind of our level 1 of shadows. And the reason I'm doing it this way is I was watching a video by SomeNormalArtist on YouTube. Feel free to check out that channel. He focuses on anime art. And yeah, I liked his style of doing this. So we're going to try it. I think something like that. We might make it a little bit bluer or purplier, because we do have some other purples in there. And that can just add some cool saturation differences to the shadows. So that's a thing to think about. Well, yeah, that's basically how I did that. And then of course you can just select them all, one way or the other. We'll do it this way. Boop. And then you have your little color palette right there. And then if you wanted to, you can just duplicate that, create a new color palette, which is what I did with this one. But that's okay. And then this will probably be our sky highlight, if we worry about that. I might make it a yellow highlight instead. We'll see. I'm thinking about making a gradient background in the end, based on Mark Brunette and his video on making cool illustration backgrounds and making your illustrations pop some more. Anyway, I also realize we don't have any gestures figured out yet, and that's probably a bad thing. So what we're going to do is make a pixel layer. Boop. We'll go into Pixel Persona, and we'll just try to make a few things using the Apple Pencil. One thing I would recommend to anybody, if the tip of your Apple Pencil isn't working very well, try to screw it back in, because sometimes it just doesn't register well. There we go. Sometimes it just got a little bit loose, but this is working. I'm going to change this to red, so that we can see this. And then, yeah. So we're kind of thinking that style of Ephraim. We've got kind of our spear thingy here. We got a little arm and shoulder. And then I might do something similar, where he's kind of holding his hand against his hip right there. Yeah, I'm liking that. So we're kind of keeping a little bit of that Ellawood posture while adding that Ephraim spear. Okay. Do that. Oop. And that is what happens when your wrist is being registered. We'll delete those. All right. So let's see, we've got a hip right there. And you can sometimes just do little zigzaggy lines to do legs and arms faster. I usually like having the little circles to show the joints, but if you're doing a faster gesture, that can be fine. So there's one gesture. So another idea, that one where it's behind his head up here with Ephraim, that might be interesting. I also kind of like that, where Dimitri's spear is just being held on a belt. Actually, that looks more like a sword belt. Weird. Maybe it has both. Interesting. Well, Dimitri's got his own style. He can do what he wants. So, with that idea, let's try maybe something more like Dimitri. I do, once again, like that little thing on the hip. And then, do we want to have a belt for the spear? Yeah, we could copy that idea. Okay. And then you can still have Ella Wood's kind of cocky looking stance. Okay. Just to show kind of what that gesture is going to look like. It does look funny with that little head there, but yeah, it's okay. So the spear can kind of do whatever, basically. But I want the spearhead, I think, kind of close to the character's head in order to show the contrast between the spear blade and the darker hair. Because over here, there's dark contrast between Ephraim's lighter hair and the haft of the spear, so it kind of naturally draws your eye towards that, or towards his spearhead. So that's pretty good. However, the avatar's hair that we have going on is going to be this darker brown. Well, we're going to go with this mid-tone, actually. We're going to shift it a little bit so we can have more contrast between the highlights and the shadows, but it's still going to be kind of darker in color than Ephraim's, which leads me to want a brighter spear, I think, against the hair right there. Still, this is a wide little panorama right here. So having a cool, like, spear pose would also be fun. So let's make one more. And we're just going with the width of this pose. Forget the head. And we'll try something like a little bit of a triangle. Can do that for the hips. It's not going to look good. Do some crazy gesture thing. That'll be a little foot. And it'd be kind of a lunge. At that elbow. And the hand is going to be kind of like that, with the thumb curling underneath here. And it could be a cool little spear point. Okay, and the spear would be like over here. So similar idea to Ephraim, with the spear being a different contrasting color to the hair. And then we could have the little face. Clearly we would want to adjust the size of this. Alright. So we could do something like that. But clearly we would want to change that face as well, but it's something to consider. There's no reason not to consider things. And it has kind of a nice triangular shape overall for the gesture. So to keep a triangle, I'd probably want this hand to be more like this. So it's going along with the gesture. But we could have it kind of out here. So it's like a longer lunge. Ideas. So we got that. We got this. And we got this one. Because of how wide this is, I think this pose might be best. That's a little too compact, I think, for our space. So let's do something with this. Maybe we'll make a lighter spear shaft with a darker spear head. That might be interesting. Metal, the main point of metal is to have high contrast. So we'll see. We'll try out a couple things, probably. And I may change the head, who knows. So yeah, really, you should do gestures first, and then worry about making stuff. But I was too excited. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this little video on making some gestures and color palette decisions. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to see more art videos. Comment below on whether or not you should do gestures first. Which, it should be yes, probably. Have a great day.